Hello, everybody. Hello, Maëlle. It's really nice to see you again at our show. Hello, Peter.
Hello, Maëlle. Hello, Armin. Nice to meet again.
Bonsoir.
Hello, guys. Bonsoir.
Bonsoir, mademoiselle.
Bonsoir, monsieur.
Bonsoir, Herr Kommissar. How are you, Maëlle? Everything fine?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yes.
Yeah.
I spend all my days on the building of my house. Then I'm so tired, but it's nice. It's great.
If you look like this when you're tired, then it's just good.
No, I'm quite prepared, you know.
Ooh, nice. Nice location this time, nice background, nice stuff there, but we talk about this in a second. Very nice.
Yeah, right.
What have you done? What have you crafted in the house?
In the house, I don't know the words in English, but we had the floors.
Okay, flooring.
Wooden carriers, you know, on the floor and in the bathroom, on the walls.
Nice.
It's long, but it's not cold. It's not too much humid or wet. So it's okay. It's nice.
Fine.
So you're gonna marry soon?
Huh?
So you soon gonna marry?
Oh no, I'm married since 4 years.
Wow! Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
Yes.
And you, how are you?
Still alive.
Still alive, yes.
One day after the other, you know, I appreciate every morning when I wake up and have another day on this planet. I'm just happy and do the best I possibly can.
Yes.
It's perfect. Yeah, I think a very good way of life.
Yeah.
Corona was just replaced with Ukraine.
Yeah.
What? I forgot.
The virus thing was just replaced with the war in the Ukraine.
Yeah.
In the media. That's a difference since we met last time.
Right.
Yeah.
So it will be better for the third interview in a few weeks.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's see. Yeah.
In a few weeks, I might be not in Malta anymore, but we'll see. It's time to move on. And now every country gave up their restrictions. So because I still didn't have these injections, so it was a little problematic for me to travel. But now almost in every country, they stopped this now. So you don't need to even have this stupid PCR test to go somewhere. So it's fine.
Yes, things are going better with the travels and the borders.
Yeah,
I think it will be nice in a few time.
Yeah, until autumn, until the next virus flu comes around the corner, and then because even in Austria they have this mandatory vaccination law only on hold, but they didn't put it away, so they have it on hold just in case, you know, the next flu comes around the corner. And, now we need mandatory vaccination.
Yeah, what I said, it turns out as a kind of flu mandatory vaccination because they say, we don't know what in autumn, in fall, what virus will be around. So I will say, okay, for thousands of years, we have not known what virus will be around.
Before we never know, no.
Yeah. Are there still restrictions in France? Maëlle?
Less and less, but I have to say that I'm not very informed of all this stuff. I just know for for concert, for traveling or something, I have to know because I have to know if we can give a concert or if we can go to I don't know, a restaurant, in the train, etc. But I think his sanitary pass is over since the 14th, so a few days ago, and it's going to be better from now, I guess. I hope.
So, no, fine. Let's hope for the best and expect the worst.
Maëlle, you wear a scarf anyway, no?
You wear what?
A scarf. You wear a scarf anyway because you love Eastern culture and Islam and so on.
Yes, I could have, but I'm not in the religious thing. Then It's a cloth for me, but not a religious accessory.
Yeah.
It was just a joke.
Yeah, but I think veil, it can be very beautiful, a very beautiful accessory. So
yeah.
I have no problem with it.
Yeah, of course. I have seen pictures of very stylish ladies with scarves, and so very beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
really.
Iranian women are beautiful.
when I was in Lebanon, you know, you have sometimes a woman completely veiled and you only see the eyes, and you know then that these Arabic women with these almond-shaped eyes, with these black eyes, and you only see the eyes, and you know, of course, you directly only can look in the eyes, and it's like it's sometimes was quite intense. So it's, you know, otherwise you would look at the face or whatever, but then you only look at the eyes because it's the only thing you can see. So it's quite interesting.
Back then there were some ads, you know, advertisings of Emirates, and they had the stewardesses with that nice kind of turbans and a kind of scarf and reddish costume. Beautiful, just beautiful. Yeah. So Armin looks the women just only in the eyes. He's a real gentleman.
This is the window to the soul. This is what matters.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's why every woman, when she sees you, Peter, eyes up. Here are my eyes. Here are my eyes. You know.
That's not true. That's not
Cheers.
true.
What are you drinking? Tea.
A little beer.
Beer. Oh.
I guess a Belgian one. Yes.
Nice. Belgian beer. Very good.
Yeah, I think so.
That's very good. I think, I mean, I come from Bavaria, you know, we have quite a beer culture, but I think that the Belgian beer is the best beer.
For Oktoberfest?
The Austrian is the best.
Yeah, of course.
I admit I don't know Austrian beers, but
Austrian?
I'd like to try.
Yeah. I think today it's very simple with Amazon or so. You know, you just can...
You simply invite her, you know. Organize
I'm sorry.
a concert.
I'm sorry. I'm too dumb. I didn't get the message.
For drinking beers, no problem. And shoot some arrows.
Yeah, so come
or
over.
Something like this, exactly.
No, I plan to cross Switzerland with in motorbike.
Nice.
And go in Austria after and make a little...
Oh, through the Alps. Nice.
Yes,
but exactly. In summertime, I guess, right?
And you should visit Vienna, the inner city with this, you know, from the old Austrian-Hungarian Empire. There are a lot of wonderful buildings, opera house and Schloss, castle, or how is it called, chalet, Schönbrunn, where the emperor lived. It's like Versailles, just a little smaller.
If you tell me about castles and old stones and old stuff, yes, I can't resist. And beers.
And of course, yeah, cheers.
Of course.
Yeah, so just nice. let us know when you're over here.
How long will this tour be? Your bike tour through the Alps? 1 week, 2 weeks?
What?
How long will this bike tour be through Switzerland?
Oh yeah. I don't know yet. I have not made the plan, the map on the map. You know, it's just an idea I have. I have seen so much videos about guys with their motorbike and these beautiful roads, beautiful forests, and beautiful countries and valleys and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, I need to go there. I need to go in Corsica. I need to go in Turkey. I want to go in Turkey in motorbike.
Yeah,
so
nice.
Yeah, it's big walk.
Yes, you see, Maëlle, how feminist Armin and I are. You are drinking the beer, I'm drinking Coca-Cola. We are old guys sitting at home, you're riding the motorbike. So we are total feminists.
Maybe I think, or so maybe I am just a big guy, a biggest guy than you.
Maybe.
No, beer is fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, but drinking beer is gender neutral, I think.
Really?
But we can drink coffee, so coffee too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, with the little pinky.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
When you have tea with the queen, you always drink like this, of course.
In front of the Eiffel Tower with the big hat and
yeah.
Yeah, but it was even in Chinese tea ceremony. Usually you hold the cup with 2 fingers and you can support it with the next finger and the rest of the finger is curled in, but the female can put this finger out when they drink
Oh yeah.
even in China, so it's fine.
I thought that in China they hold the cup with the thumb ring. You know, something
Maëlle, this is not
No.
tea ceremony at all.
No, Maëlle, that little ring on the mug is not the thumb ring. It's for
Oh.
These cups don't have a ring.
Manchu rings are very big, so I thought that maybe some ring.
But you can try.
Yeah.
That would be a nice video, maybe, to get a cup and then to use the thumb
Just a
ring.
sip and release.
Drink first, and then pew. Yeah, makes
Exactly.
sense. We need to develop a thumb ring for tea. Yeah, it's true.
No, you get the mug and it's delivered with a thumb ring. Then you hit the ring, you break the ring, and it's
Order the thumb ring. There's a whole mug on it now. I need to cut it away.
That would be a nice clip.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we hold something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have an idea. Great. So, and you prepared really heavily back there, Maëlle, because last time we asked you what bow you shoot and what arrows you use. And for this time you prepared everything. Would you mind if you show us, or do you have still your first bow, or what was your first one? What was the second one? How many bows do you have?
Yes. So the only problem, I guess, it's with my camera and the depth I have. Maybe I can show all the bow on the camera, but I can try. My first bow is an American longbow.
Wow, looks good. Looks good.
Yeah. Now Peter loves you even more when you shoot an American longbow.
No, I hate her because
No,
she's switched to the dark side of the force.
Yes, I admit it. It's a Mohican bow from Canada, from Quebec. It's 35 pounds. With what's the name? A string. Yes, background string with Flemish.
Yeah.
Flemish string in English, I guess. And yes, it's a bow I shot with during maybe 10 years, I guess.
Okay.
And it was my main bow, and I was just like, it was the only bow I shot, so I was very in the longbow stuff, and with Jean-Marie Coche in France. It was an archer and bow maker, and he had all what can I say? He had a philosophy about archery and the technique, and the technique of diaphragmatic breathing, and he had a place, and he used to make workshops and building workshops, and yes, it was very interesting. I never met him, and he died in 2012, I guess, or maybe before. But it was here in France when you meet somebody who shot in longbow with a longbow. They all the time they said, "Oh yes, Jean-Marie Coche, he was the master." So it's it's a reference here.
So you picked up your breathing method from him with your diaphragm breathing, okay?
Yes, with the books he wrote, and I know some people, some ancient pupils, and it's a kind of transmission, and I learned like this.
Well, we talked about before, Armin and me, I think with other guests. Do you think if you don't think about breathing, you can do wrong? I don't think so. I think it happens just naturally that you're making you do it the right way. In my opinion, I don't know.
I don't think so too. I'd like to say that we have to breathe, and if you breathe well, you have a perfect shot, and not exactly. I think some archer can shot well or very well with a stop breathing or with normal breathing without thinking about it. But I think that it can help to be more regular and to not to hurt the shoulders, the arms, and I think it's something about the chi. You know, it's just a circulation of energy, and to me personally, I think I shot better since I practice this breathing system.
Yeah.
If it helps, it's good.
Yes.
Thing is, and we spoke about this, Peter, in every martial art, breathing is one of the basic and fundamental things.
Yeah.
And archery is nothing else than a martial art.
Yeah.
And when you know how to breathe properly, of course, it becomes second nature. But first, and none of the adults nowadays breathe properly. They all breathe in the chest. They don't breathe in the belly.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
but do you think you would draw a bow while exhaling? I don't think so. Never. And I don't know. I would agree if you think about high precision shooting with a sight. It's the same with a sniper rifle or like that. Their breathing is important because you can make a lot of mistakes when you're breathing wrong. But with traditional archery, I don't think so. I think it's important, but I think you do it naturally without thinking about it.
In martial arts, we used to blow during effort, and so it's just like.
It's not bad because you get in a rhythm and so on. I agree with that. Or think about boxing. You know, when you're hitting, you're exhaling.
Exactly.
Nobody would have the idea to inhale while
yes.
and yet
punching.
most people inhale while they draw the bow. And most people, when you don't tell them how to breathe, most people do.
Maybe I do it too. I don't know. I even don't know.
See?
Yeah, I would have to pick up a bow now and try it.
It's for me. It's important.
I inhale when I draw.
Yeah. See, this is what many do. And then what happens is you get the air in your chest, you hunch your shoulders up, so you have so many negative things coming afterwards. That's why for me, breathing is a very important part in everything, and so in archery.
But in one thing I would agree anyway, that you get in another kind of state of mind when you control your breathing, like with yoga. When you control your breathing, you calm down, you're more relaxed, you're more, that's true. I would say that's true.
I've never tried it, but I'm wondering if with very strong war bows, we really have to control your breathing because of the strength you need, and maybe the fact to shot on the horse, for example. And I don't know, but I suppose there is a reason of this, and I don't know if I think it's like three fingers of Mediterranean of thumb release. Both are working, so we just have to choose your own way, and maybe one or the other will correspond to you.
And maybe you're right. When I think about it, the stronger the bow, the less you have to think about it. I'm sure. Yeah. Because you will do it naturally.
It's like when you push a car or something, you know what to do. You don't inhale.
How you breathe, or
you don't inhale when You.
Yeah.
So you know what you do.
Yeah.
So everybody needs to start with a heavy bow, then let them breathe properly.
There is a story. I don't know if I read this in Murat Özdemir, in a Murat article, I think in a magazine about the facts in ancient times. It was told that when you shot your arrow, you exile a kind of a part of your soul in your arrow, and with this soul, your arrow will be more precise and more efficient. And it's true, it's wrong. I don't mind. So it's just a beautiful idea, beautiful concept, I think.
But
and
it doesn't matter when you believe in it; it will help you. It's like with all medication, you can take this where nothing is in it, but when you believe this tablet will help you with your migraine, you take it and there's nothing in it, only sugar, and your migraine goes away because you believe it and you change mind over matter. Always like this. Not for people,
and the other thing with what Maëlle said is with like Murat's stuff and so on. I think it's helpful if you're teaching students, so you get them in the right status.
In the right mood.
To say in the right mood. Yeah. Now you don't need a bow, you don't need an arrow. We just breathe. So you get them into the archery stuff. I think it's kind of a ritual thing, maybe especially for teaching, because think about when you're in a battle, you don't think about breathing. I'm sure you don't. Never.
Once you know how to breathe, of course, it becomes second nature and you will always do it. So that's why you train it, because you train that you are fit for battle, that you don't have to think. You don't think you train your single martial art moves, but of course, in a fight, you don't think about it, because when you start thinking, it's too late. So of course, you'd never think in a battle. In this regard, so for what am I doing now? Is my anchor point here, or what? Of course not.
It has to be instinctive and with a lot of training. After that, you don't have to think about it.
But on the other side, when you breathe properly, you don't exhaust that quickly, I believe. So when you work with your breathing properly and you continue this, then on the battlefield, you don't exhaust yourself that quickly. Because you work better with your energy, like you said with Chi.
And there you see it again, a sniper in warfare, with a long range rifle, he's able to think about breathing because he's away from the real battle.
Of course.
Yeah. But the more I think about it, to me, the opposite is kind of logically, because if I raise my bow and draw and inhale, and then I stop breathing and then I release, I do it faster, but I talk slower. To me, it's simultaneously or as like the shot, because you're building up tension, you're building up, you draw the bow, the curve gets high and high, and then you release. So to me, it's kind of the same when I inhale and draw, and then it's like an explosion. Not my exhaling, but
I personally would never exhale when I release, because in this moment you collapse.
I don't exhale.
So you did so. You said so.
Yes, when the shot is gone.
When the arrow is in the target,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm shooting very fast, so.
No, of course,
I don't. I don't get, how is it called? Unmarked. I don't faint away. I don't faint away.
No, it's a sensible subject, because it can appear like something, I don't know, elitist or precious, or yes, I have to breathe and make love with energy and be connected to the world and something. And
yeah.
maybe it can be kind of mystic, but it can be important too. And personally, I realized that when I shot without totally thinking about my breathing, I was more regular. I was more tension. I had more tensions in the shoulders, and then now it's a kind about rhythm. I made a video a few months ago, maybe one year ago, about rhythm in archery during shooting, and it was interesting to notice that we had a kind of rhythm in the shooting. Yeah. And I had an exercise with counting at each step of the processes. Yeah. And it's just an exercise. I suppose when you are in the battlefield or hunting or something, you don't think about it. Mm. But it was interesting to think about it during the practice.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, and especially, like I said, I think when you're teaching someone, it's very helpful. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's of course for training, that you know what you're doing in the battlefield or when you're out in the field, of course.
Yeah. And Maëlle, interesting enough, because you mentioned now here love and so on. Once I had a friend. She was French. She was a sexologist.
Huh?
I don't know, in France or in Spain you can study kind of like that. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
And she said, don't you see the similarity between archery and sex? I said, what? What similarity? What?
These people are French.
Typically French. You see this? You see the similarity? When she explained it to me, it was clear like mountain water.
Yeah.
Of course, you're building up kind of pressure. You're building up, and then it explodes and the shot
and you
goes.
release. Oh yeah.
It's, if you think about that, it's very similar.
But I hope so. One shot is faster than making love.
That's
it depends, you know.
That would be
Peter is working on that.
I'm working on it. That it would be favorable.
It depends if you practice judo, because it can be very long.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, not about on the timeline, but
the mechanism. It's always building up, contracting, exploding.
Yeah.
And then the relaxation. It's
always
the same.
Hitting the mark.
Yeah, but it's the same. Even one cell in the body does the same. You know, they build up until they explode, and then they relax. So this is a natural. It's life. It's a circle of life.
But archery is not natural. So it has a part of this natural.
In the last podcast, you said everything is natural.
Yeah, but it's not like a cell or like making love or so. It's
yes.
Like
when I shoot arrows, I have now this Şimşek Bow from Lukas Navalny. I shot it today again. It's like making love.
Archery.
Yeah. And what Maëlle also said about rhythm is also interesting, because I'm always using my back quiver, and to me the back quiver belongs to the shot. So it's one rhythm. It's one rhythm. It's very I don't know. It's like a rhythm, yes. And you know, you would get to, I don't know, every 4 seconds 1 arrow. It would be like that.
Yeah. This is what you first.
Like Mihai do with a back quiver, or like we Jean-Marie Koch, I guess he shot with a back quiver too. And so for me, back quiver is not logical, because it can be very logical, but it's, I don't know, it's okay with Occidental with Westerner archery. But in some shooting and with small bows, maybe on horseback or something, yeah, I think the side quiver is more efficient.
But to me, the back quiver is as natural as it can be, because when you release the arrow, you're here and your hand is here. So it's just a short movement to grasp the next arrow. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, makes sense. Nothing against it. But I even here, when I teach people, I always, when they know the steps, I always say, then now bring them in a rhythm. It's like dancing, that you always have the same rhythm when you shoot, because this helps you for your muscle memory. When you do, sometimes you raise the bow and then you draw slow and you let go, and next time you raise slow and you draw quickly. Look, always do it in the same pace, in the same rhythm. You get way more out of it. That's why rhythm is very important.
John Schultz, you can find his videos on YouTube. I think there's 3 or 4 it's Howard Hill style shooting, but it's the same. He recommended counting the phases of the shot, 1, 2, 3, and so on. And it's like that.
Yeah. Guys, I have a question about Kashai technique. With this movement, when you shot with this movement with the arm, to me it's totally illogical.
Bullshit. It's bullshit.
Why? Okay.
It's a show thing, in my opinion. It doesn't help. No.
I admit I call that the Legolas shot. You know, in the Lord of the Rings, it's like
One thing with Kashai, I don't understand it. This is for me simply show, it's entertainment, because it looks fancy, but he doesn't do it. He does it with his last arrow, very pronounced. With the arrows before, not so much, because he needs to get back the hand to his quiver or to his arrows in your hand. So he needs to come back and draw again.
Petra does it too.
And there are some teachings when you shoot a manchu bow, a very long draw bow, then you have this elbow back there, and when you let go, you don't want to hold it, because even the manchu has this kick, then you simply counterbalance the kick of this manchu bow. So there are some things which you might want to do. I still don't do it, even if I shoot a long draw bow, but there are some, they tell you to do so.
But you know, if I have to do some movement to balance my bow's kick,
it's a different shooting. You can't compare an American longbow to a manchu bow, and of course you use a screwdriver differently than whatever hex nut. It's a different tool, and you shoot it differently.
Both are bows.
No, it's just but too different.
But
that's why many struggle with the manchu.
Kashai is very efficient with this technique. So I watched a video with his pupils on a horseback, and they were like 1, 2, 3, and 4. This movement was totally part of the thing, but it was not at all natural. It was totally just a part of the shot, but they didn't understand why they did this.
There's one thing to it, but I'm sure it's not because of that. You could prevent a creeping release. You know, when you're doing a back movement on release, so you won't creep forward and release, and you take a lot of power from your bow when you're doing the creeping release. That's the only thing
this is when you see then bear paw, or when Botnik does his teaching, they always tell you then the hand needs to end up there, and then you see many they shoot
that's Olympic style.
It's Olympic style, but this is keep you again from creeping, that you bring the hand here, folding it back there. Maybe it has to do with counterbalancing, because I shoot from horseback. I don't know.
But elbow doesn't know. It's just the width. Yeah.
For me, it's not necessary, but it's me.
Also, that hill style shooters say, but it's kind of like that, but not like winking to someone. Never stop to draw. So they say never stop to draw. Draw back, draw back, draw back, release, and draw farther. So that's. But that's also preventing that creep.
Yes.
Because then the release stays in kind of explosion. Because a counter movement to the to the force of the bow.
For example, in Turkish archery, I noticed that yeah, quite often archers are just in continuous movement, and they just arm, release, but continue the movements, and it's not just stop in the anchor point and shot. It's just something like that. Yes. With a big regularity and big efficiency, but
it gives you more dynamic because you don't want to let the bow rest in the full draw position, especially when you have only a wood bow. It stops, it loses power. When you hold a normal pure wood bow, hold it in full draw for a while, it loses its power because it gets used to this position, the wood. So you want to keep it directly letting go, so you get the maximum. And then of course what we do, snap release, that you really, the last moment you snap back, you get even more energy in the bow when you snap the string backwards and let go. So it's simply for efficiency purpose. You don't want to stop. Why would you stop when you the same accurate without stopping?
So the Olympic archers don't need that.
No, of course not. This is
they shoot at 70 meters or 90 meters with very weak bows. I don't know, they have 40, 45 pounds, and they exactly stop here and aim and release, and they hit the mark in 90 meters.
Yes, they aim. You said so. We are instinctive or intuitive or whatever you want to call it, and they aim. That's the difference.
But you said it's about power, not power of the bow.
Yeah, of course, but look what arrows, they shoot little strick needles. We shoot proper arrows with 1,000 grain at the same distance, and then we destroy something. These arrows only fly in a foam target and stick barely in it.
Yeah.
So I think sport archery and traditional archery cannot be compared in this way, or the techniques used.
I just compare it because you said it's you have more power,
of course,
or more force in the bow,
especially when you shoot a composite bow with horn and sinew. These are natural materials. And look at the tennis player. Is a tennis player standing on the line when the other one plays, or is he running back and forth? Because it's easier out of a motion to get in another motion than when you stand. The inertia, this momentum you need when you stand and you start moving takes you more energy and time than when you already move and change.
Yeah, but
that's the same here. You don't want to stop.
But there's nothing wrong with getting to your anchor point and release. Nothing wrong with that, and you don't need that additional power.
You, of course, don't need it, Peter, and the hunters most probably not, but we talk about some different kinds of archery. And in Turkish archery, it was like this. In Chinese archery, there is snap release. They even overdrew the bow, that the arrow almost went inside the bow to get really the maximum out of this bow. Because the first limitation you have is the maximum draw weight of your bow. And of course, you want to maximize it as good as possible. And of course, a modern Olympic bow with fiberglass limbs doesn't have these problems. You can hold it in full draw and it doesn't lose its power.
I don't talk about holding. I just talk about reaching an anchor point and releasing.
They always reach an anchor point. Otherwise, you're not accurate. They always reach an anchor point, but it's not here. It's here.
Yeah. One thing about Kasai, Maëlle, you don't forget he's doing this thousands and thousands of times and always the same, the same show. So, you can do some fancy movements when you're doing it over and over again. So it won't, even if it's not a good idea to make this movement, if you're familiar with it, if you practiced it, some singers are able to draw how you throw the guitar and play on. It's the same thing.
It surely has a purpose for him, but for me, it's not completely logical. I said there are some styles you see even in Ottoman archery. You see then the paintings and the drawings where the hand is back there. For whatever reason, for me, it doesn't make sense because I want to get my hand as quick as possible to my next arrow.
It can be just for the drawing too, because on a picture we can we can
over
force certain movements just to mark them, and so
make
the
them
object
look big and
is
strong and so on. Mighty and
overacting.
overacting, exactly.
Maëlle, what kind of wood is this bow? Do you know it?
It's not written on it, but I think it's
Ash?
no.
Dark for ash.
It's oh damn.
Oh damn! What wood is that?
Yes, I have an
Where does
instrument.
damn grow?
I don't remember the name in English.
Say it in French.
For the French guys, it's I think it's in tilleul, but it's tilo in Spanish. But what is this in the?
We're getting closer.
Spruce? No, it's not spruce.
No.
Spruce, I don't think. No.
No, I don't remember. But maybe it's just just a wrong thing. I don't remember, and it's not written on it.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I have it since maybe 15 years old, 15 years. So I don't remember. So after this one, I have the classical. The classical
snake bow,
snake.
With leather handle.
Yes, with a leather handle. Yeah. I'd like to try the small model.
The 50,
Yes, it can be very interesting, but I never tried. Maybe I will try it. So this bow is perfect, I guess, for people of my family, my friends, when they want just to try and they never shot a bow because it's embedded screws and it's not very powerful and it's very resilient bow. And you spoke about it, Armin. It's just a very good bow to begin our practice every day.
And a very nice, a very favorable price too.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
and a product of France.
Yes,
of France, exactly.
And when you see the design, it's quite advanced. It's an asymmetrical bow.
Yes,
first of all, and when you see then even underneath the bump of the limb, which goes forward and then down, so it's a very interesting design bow. So that somebody really thought about it.
I always wondered why they did it like that. It looks very complicated because you could do it.
The handle has simply different angle, but when you follow the curve of the limb, it continues down there. So they simply bring the bottom limb out there to the original line again.
It's very interesting. Yeah,
it's well made. This is a really great bow.
It's like the medieval Burgundy bow with this limb, just like a long bow, but inspired by Oriental bow with the limbs with this shape.
Like this Belgium. I think in Belgium they had them too.
Yeah, the Flemish bows and
Flemish bows.
It's a good bow. And the last one, the Longbow family, it's the one I call the joke bow. It's really, it's my very, very, very first bow, and it's a piece of museum. Maybe you don't see it, but it's all metal bow.
Nice. You have one of these metal bows. We were talking
aluminum
about it.
Is it
Duraluminium?
Wow.
It's a French mark, a French brand, and it has been made in the 30s, I guess, something like this.
Ralph Rambourg told us about this bow. Ralph Rambourg told us about this bow.
We were talking with him.
It was a bow. I heard it was a bow for the king's shooting. I don't know the word in English, but it's tradition in the north of France, and you have to shoot a bird.
Shoot a bird up there on the pole.
Like a kabak, a Turkish kabak, but in a French way. And archer groups practice this since Middle Ages. And in the beginning of the 20th century, they made this bow. It's made in France, I think so. And I saw one in the archery museum next to Paris, in France, in the Musée de l'Archerie et du Valois, Crépy-en-Valois. And it was just this bow, this shitty bow, because it's totally impracticable. And it was just like on the wall, and I said, "Oh, this bow, this toy, why, why?"
They always say these are dangerous because they break if they are older. I don't know if it's true.
Yes, maybe, but it's not very powerful. But it's just when you shot, it's stuck
Yeah,
a
of
lot.
course.
It's
Yes,
vibrating.
and
Yeah,
it's
hand job
awful
like,
sensation. Awful sensation.
Mhm.
So I have it.
Nice.
It's
Wow.
really
This now at least so on and
wow.
real. Yeah, it's nice.
Yep.
Yes. Your play's not big enough. Yeah. Get sorted. Take your time. We can listen to a joke of Peter in the meantime. Oh, you're ready already.
Oh yeah, of course.
So now you change to the dark side, right? Yeah.
The dark side, yes. After this, after the American semi-longbow, I bought on a medieval fair, I bought this bow, classical bow, to an English guy, I think. I don't remember the name of the guy, and I have no information about the bow. So maybe with a minimum. I like the shape.
I would say this one was made in Hungary.
Yeah.
Well, probably, very probably. I think the English guy was just the seller.
Even Berpo had a kind of a bow like this once. They have these fiberglass bows. Yeah, but of course in Hungary you get many of them, and they always at these medieval markets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with this wooden part, it was with leather. And...
very massive sears.
Yes,
very
exactly.
heavy
and when
sears.
like,
a little bit.
But
But
you
to
know,
me, it was...
Kashai's bows are quite the same.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, exactly.
Very the same.
My first horse bow was a Kashai.
Yeah.
And, oh my god. And I didn't like it because it was shaking, but I didn't know that there are fiberglass bows. They don't do that, you know. And I thought, okay, this is now, I don't like this experience, you know.
Yeah. No, I guess this one is fiberglass under the
wrapped with leather.
But
it was
it's still a bow.
To me it was the best bow I can find. And then I tried all the bows, and no, it's just a fun toy, but it's not a good bow, clearly. But yeah, I shot with it since a long time, maybe more, maybe 5 years. It was fine. But when I was like, okay, maybe I have to try another bow, and maybe a good bow, and I tried not many bows because I don't know personally a lot of archer in my region. I live in the total countryside, and the few clubs the guys shot with classical bows or compound bows or maybe long bows, but oriental bows are very very rare. And yeah, with this one I was just like, it was perfect on medieval fairs, and yeah, with all the costume and okay. It was okay, but I had to try other thing. And a few years ago, I have discovered a brand, a Turkish brand that maybe you know. It's Şimşek Bows from Bursa, next to Istanbul. And so I have 4 bows from them.
Wow.
So I can begin with the duet, you know, the eye and the Yildiz bows. They are up Crimen Tatar bow.
They look good. They look good.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's plastic. It's a very, very, very simple bow, very cheap bow.
This is the snake bow for the Asiatic version.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Perfect. 25 pounds.
Same power.
You can't first more, yeah.
I need one of these. They look great and simple. Yeah.
But you decorate it nicely. Mine looks simply some kind of green color. So
yes, this one, in black it's okay, but I'd like some leather, maybe, and maybe quite of.
No, don't add weight. Don't add weight.
But this bow is incredible. This is such a fun shooter. It draws nice. It shoots nice. and it does everything a snake bow does, but in an Asiatic way. And
Yes,
the
exactly.
price is, I think, 80, 90 euros or something, or they're
Really?
not, or 100.
Yes, something.
Not expensive.
I bought both of them in the
Yeah.
single twin, so I didn't remember. But
This
this one is a Ottoman style bow.
Yeah, 15
saying
pounds.
It's 15 pounds.
15
a
pounds, but
little
it's
toy.
awesome. This one in 25 would be the perfect bow.
Yeah, I
You
gave
you can't have them stronger.
No, it's
No,
they are from a
not
mold.
big
They are simply injected,
yeah.
molded. So they maybe they make them once stronger, but then they need
But-
to make a new mold.
But for archery schools, for Asiatic archery schools, perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, this one I gave it to 5 years old little
Yeah.
girl.
Mm.
I know, and she was just like
Yeah. It's,
she was in Brave, you know, she was Merida in
yeah,
Brave.
yeah. And the good thing is you can't break this bow even when you overdraw. You know, they have a
Oh, yeah,
they
you
have
can
a
shoot
they have a max
everywhere.
draw, but even if you overdraw, nothing happens. It's so cool. They're
I
really
saw
good.
a video about this guy. I don't know where he is. Maybe in Scotland or England. I don't know. He
Mm.
has a Şimşek Bows, and he made a video about experiments of extreme situations to break his bow.
This is
throw his-
Mac. This is our tactical archery. He's in America.
Mhm.
He's a
Oh, yeah.
redneck. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
American. Okay,
Mhm.
and he throws the bow
He
from
froze
the
it
car.
and then it's Mac. yeah.
He let it a full week in the snow, in the ice.
Mhm.
So it's just like, and the bow was totally,
Yeah, of
you know,
course.
He's a
Mhm.
funny guy. He's a funny guy.
He is.
Like,
it was fun, exactly.
Yeah.
After this one, I have this bow. It's the Junior from Şimşek.
Yeah.
This one is 25 pounds, I guess. It's quite a simple bow, but it was not very expensive. I think from memory, 150 euros, I think,
Yeah.
with leather hand,
Good.
a kind of
Whipping.
string
Yeah,
rolled
whipping
around
around.
the bow
Mm.
and glued.
Yeah. But this is a fiberglass bow, right? Or what? Or is
Yes,
it?
it's
Yeah.
kind of resin. I don't know exactly the materials they use,
Mhm.
but it's a little bow, very efficient, very practical, and very pleasant to shot because it's very smooth.
Yeah. And for the price, you can't say anything exactly.
Yes. I
Perfect.
think if you want to discover Turkish archery
Exactly.
without 1,000 of euros, I think this bow is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And mine is up. My bow,
Yeah.
the bow I shot is this
Yeah,
one.
look at this. Yeah.
This one is just
Pretty. Yeah.
wow.
Oh, you made a reinforcement around the arrow pass.
Yeah, I have a little piece of leather here.
Oh.
And this one is the Sipahi model, the short Sipahi model, but the first version. Şimşek made a new version since. You tried it, and it's like just perfect. And this one, I have to admit that I ordered this bow after your video, and you tried I think the Azarak and the hybrid first, and but this one, I guess it's a perfect size for me. I have it in the hand, and it's just perfect. And shorter bows are too short, and longer bow are too long. For me, this one is just perfect in my hand.
Yeah.
And really, I absolutely love to shoot it, and I never want another kind of bow. This model.
Yeah. I understand.
Looks good.
Fully understand. For me, just the handles are always a little too small. So they then when you shoot them for an hour, then my hand starts hurting because I don't know how to hold this small bow. So
But if you
could
make a
put
rep,
something around it, of course. Yeah.
Maybe I have smaller hands.
Yeah, but
Not
I like the Tatar version more, the Chagan. This is even for me because it draws a little longer and it's for me it's I'm more a Tatar guy.
Yes, the Tatar is very beautiful, but for me it's very cultural too, and I like Turkish and Persian history, and for me it's kind of Seljuk period or this stuff, and the very beginning of Ottoman Empire, before they became the big invaders, you know. But it's just like this region of the world, you know, with the music and with all the this stuff I practice and I like, and it's a very, very nice bow, and I love it very much. Yeah,
very good.
So Şimşek bows, if you want to.
They are great. They really, and what they do, they provide you with a lot of information when you buy a bow from there, and they have excellent customer service.
Yeah, exactly.
What you don't get everywhere. Sometimes you get a bow, you know, you order a bow and then you get them in a sleeve and nothing with it. You buy something $2 from AliExpress and you get a big documentation with it. And you buy a $400 bow and you get a sleeve around it and a string, and then, you know, what is it now? You know, what's the technical spec sheet or something, print something, put it in the box. You know, this is what I miss a little from many of these Asiatic bow builders. There is really, they could, I mean, some do it. When you see Lukas Navalny, you get the warranty card, at least, you know, then what is the max draw and what is a grain per pound. Now, finally, they write it that you don't get too lightweight arrows or whatever, that you really max the bow's performance out. And or from Grosjean, you get a warranty card. There's, you know, a few do it, but for many, you simply get them the bow, and sometimes you don't even know which bow is which, and because nothing is written on it. I don't like.
In counterpoints, you can see that if you contact them from Facebook, for example, you can chat with Bahatin Manouche, who is the guy who speak about with people abroad about the bows, and he is always here to answer every question you have, and he has a big transparency and a big culture about archery. And you can find on their websites all the technical specifications about their bows, all the pressure, the tests, the resistance tests, the curves, all the stuff. Maybe for each bow they can print some sheets and put them in the package.
Now, still, you know, even if you have a different poundage, I don't need the draw curve then, but at least what is the length, what is the string length, as example, you know, just in case my string breaks, snaps or whatever, and I need a new string. Now I need to measure how long is the string that I can reorder it, because they tell you, well, which bow, for the short pie, how long is the string, or whatever. You check simply, okay, string length this, that you know these data, and what is the minimum grain per pound, where you should not go under, what is the max draw, what is the poundage as max draw. This is what I don't understand with long draw bows. They still use the Western standard and tell you the poundage at 28 inches. Nobody cares. When the bow does 32 inches, I don't care what the bow has as 28. I want to know what the bow has at 32. So these are things that many can improve.
Yes, I think, but it's also because they're kind of standard bows and not custom made. Because if you say you need 50 pounds at 32, you will get it also. No.
Yes, but you need to know, or when you order a 50 pound, then then they get you 50 pound at 28 inches. So then wrong. You know the problems can happen. That's why you have a bow. The max draw is 33 inches, and I want a bow which has then 50 pounds is 33. You tell me then what it has on 28, but I don't care. So that's why Ali bow at least writes then, okay, this bow has 35 pound at 28 and had 45 pound at 32. Then you know both of them, so that then you're covered.
But if my draw is 32, I'm not interested. What is the draw weight?
Yeah, but it's simply the Western standard. So at least, you know, okay, this would be a 35 pound bow compared to in Western standards measured. That's fine.
On talking about this paperwork, with most of the American bows, you get one sheet of paper with the data you say.
Yeah, it's fine.
Because on the other hand, sometimes I had bows there where it was a little overdone. If they send too much, then it's a kind of, you know, business thing, kind of marketing thing, and you get a lot of documentation.
When you leaflets and here a leaflet, and there, I know what you mean.
You can overdo it. And on a good bow, also the string length, the bow length is written on, I'd say.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But of
For
course, then
example-
there is when you participate in historical stuff, then you are not allowed to have writings on your bow. That's why it's always a thing, you know, what should you do and what not.
Yes. But for example, this bow,
Mhm.
there is a lot of information written.
Everything is on,
under,
no?
under
Yeah.
the varnish, so
Mhm.
it can move. And
Exactly.
you know the characteristics.
With
Yeah.
all the American bows and
Then it's
also
fine.
Canadian, it's like that.
Yeah.
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 I'm happy with that. So now we switch to thumb rings. I see you with your
Yes, some rings.
Yeah.
I have a little collection, but for example, I have these rings, very awful colors and stuff, but it was just to test the size of my thumb, and I didn't find a ring who fit me. And this one is too big, this one too big too, and it's just, I think, plastic or something.
Yeah.
I bought 2 vermeil archery rings, but just impossible. But I like the shape. Yeah.
Maëlle, but you know what I did? I also couldn't find they all were most were too big for my thumb, and so I took a piece of suit leather, and you know I sanded it down on the edges so it was very smooth on the edges, and I glued it inside, and then they fit perfect and they don't slip or so.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
But after that, I tried from Şimşek soft leather, some rings. It's okay for a short time, but I guess it. Well, I shot only bare thumb for years because it was just like, I think it's more sensitive to feel the string, and like my instruments when I play, I want to feel the strings in my hand, and it's just interesting. But naked thumb was too much painful, even with a 35 or 40 pound bows.
When you shoot a lot, it gets painful.
Yes. When you shoot a lot, it was you have just some,
of course,
some injuries, and you cannot shoot for a week, and it's just too much frustrating. So I have this Okçubaşı'ya ring, and this one is very, very, very interesting. It fits perfectly. So I was just like, oh,
and you don't feel it anymore. It's only then you don't feel it. It's like you have nothing on it. Yeah.
Yes. It's quite big, but it's leather, and we have the little part for the
so your skin is protected. It's fine. So, great ring. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, very very ring. And quite rigid and quite
not too hard, but they're still rigid enough.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Yeah, I have it too.
Okay, for the thumb rings, arrows, I have just a little collection, a little pot, but really wooden arrows, because I shot carbon with judo, with a judo tip for
stump shooting.
Stump shooting, you know. Yeah, in French we used to say "be a bud." I learned this word from Jean-Marie Coche books, because it was something he used to do in the woods, in the forest, and to me it's very interesting, because I love to work in the forest, in the wild, and I have a lot of forest and a lot of wild around of my home. But I have a lot of stones too. There is stone everywhere, and then when you shoot, if you miss the stump or the branch or something, you break your arrows, or you lost them. So I have
You know, these judo points are quite expensive, as I know.
Yes.
I use them too, and a good alternative is a pistol cartridge casing. you know, if you use how are they 5/16 diameter arrows, you have to find out it's about, I don't know, 7 millimeters. So a 7/65 casing will work. Or if you're using that 11/32s, a 9 millimeter or 38 special casing works. If you talk to, you know, gun shooters, they have a lot of empty casings. They cost nothing. And if you think they are too lightweight for the arrow, we put it in some lead, you know, from the fisherman. You can buy some boxes of lead and you can put it in, so they're a little more heavy. They cost nothing. And the other alternative we used were rubber blunts with stump shooting, because they are also expensive enough, but they don't break the arrow. The arrow bounces away if it's in hard target or so. Yes, and stump shooting, we did it a lot. You don't need any 3D animals. You don't need nothing. You think, oh, look at that. Look, the nice rotten stump, and you shoot at it. It's very nice. Yeah.
Yes. But judo is fine because the arrow didn't go under the grass.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And the little strips are not very practical in the quiver, for example.
They get tangled up. Yeah.
You take
you pull one out and
arrow,
you get all out there.
I don't have it at hand. I had another kind of patent, and if you use carbon arrows with screw-in points, with usual target points, if you taking a wing nut, you know, a wing nut.
Yeah. Okay.
And you put the wings forwards, so you have the point, and here's the wing nut, and the wings stand forward, and you screw them with the point. So the point is quite heavier, but it doesn't matter with stump shooting, I think. And it's very inexpensive, and you know, and you have these two blades, kind of wings. They stop the arrow like the judo point.
That's a good idea.
Almost like judo.
The judo points are most favorable on a meadow, on a lawn, because they can slip under the grass.
So, but then you broke too many carbon arrows, or that's why you swapped then, or when you did judo?
Yeah, it happens, but not too much.
Okay.
And are you making your own arrows? I think so.
Yes, exactly. I have the stuff, and since the beginning of my practice of archery, I was learned to make my own arrows, and it was very interesting because I like to craft things, and arrows is. I'd like to learn how to make a bow, for example, a composite bow with traditional methods and other stuff, but it's quite complicated, and it takes a lot of time. And but the arrows, I think it's quite easy to do. It's less expensive, and you can personalize your arrows. For example, this one are just blunt arrows with a flu feathers, plastic knock, and just it's classical wooden, but tainted with what the word, a nut oil, kind of nut oil, you know, and it gives a very quite dark color, and I liked it, but I need to varnish them or just put something on it, but because if it's raining,
you have to seal them. You have to seal them,
Yes, or wax or something.
Yeah.
So
And
there's one.
are you very picky with your wooden arrows on spine and shaft weight and so on?
No, not very precisely. To me, it's quite polemic, because to me, a good archer has to be efficient with every arrow he can find. But I totally agree that if you have the good arrow with the good pound, the good shaft, the good stuff, it's way more efficient. It's totally true. But
and you know, if you're using nicely matched arrows, and use them, of course, you will be able to pick up another arrow and will be efficient too, because you say good archer has to be able to do it. Of course, you can do it, but if you're matching your arrows, you're more precise, of
Yes,
course.
but my problem is that I'm too much sad when I broke an arrow. A beautiful arrow, it's too sad. So when I made my own arrows, I'm like, okay, I made this one, it's broken, I can make another exactly the same. But yes, for sure, I think I have to learn all the stuff, all the mathematics stuff.
It's very simple.
Calculate all the specificity of the arrows.
It's not difficult.
Yes, those one are very old arrows, but I used to make the same when I break 5 or 6 arrows. I bought the stuff to make another series. Quite of medieval technique, but well, it's just a compromise with plastic knock, but a compromise between medieval arrows and modern arrows. So it's my current arrows.
Yeah, don't worry. I was once, we have in Medina, in the old capital city here in Malta, there is every year a medieval fest, a weekend. And then all these reenactment groups, of course, offer their archery. And of course, because I know them all, I go there and you see them then with their English longbows and they shoot aluminum arrows in bright blue. I said, look, guys, you reenact here. You give the people the experience of shooting bow and arrow like it was in medieval times. Did you have aluminum in this time? So no, but you know, wood arrows break so quickly. He said, yeah, and they get crooked, but you know, at least keep it, you know, yeah. That's why don't worry about the plastic knock, you know.
And what kind of shaft material you use with wooden arrows?
I think it's pine shafts,
Okay.
but classical regular shafts. I bought them in a shop I know. Not too far from.
Try if they supply cedars from, you know, Port Orford, from Oregon. These are the best wooden shafts, in my opinion. Still the best wooden shafts.
I have to try other things and maybe more expensive stuff too, because when you practice without too much risks, it's nice to have very good arrows and
and you know, you're doing a lot of work in making these arrows, and if you're using not the best shaft material, you know, it's maybe €1 more or so, and you're doing the same, a lot of work to the shaft and with the fletching and so I think it's worth to try really good wooden shafts. And they're more expensive in most cases. If these are these Port Orford cedars, they are quite spined, so they are better than, you know, this just by diameter or so.
Yes. There's one from Şimşek. I think it's a guy who made them for them. But I don't know the wood, but it's very, very light.
Spruce.
It's kind of, spruce, you know, maybe. And I wanted wooden knock. No, maybe here.
Yeah, we see.
They look beautiful, very shiny, very beautiful.
Yes, it's simple arrows, but very pleasant to shoot and solid. So I shot them maybe in stones or something, and they just bounce. And maybe just it's a better wood than my other, and they are more resistant. So it's very, very nice to shoot. And with the wooden knock, I can shoot in medieval fairs and some stuff without have to say, no, don't look at my plastic knocks. I'm ashamed.
They look good.
Which fletching jig do you use for fletching, or do you make it by hand?
It's Turkey, I think.
Okay.
The fletching, it's classical in the shop. And there's arrows. I made this arrows. They are not for shooting, but they are just for presenting to people classical medieval arrows. And
Ooh, look
So,
at this. Mm-hmm.
Botkin
yeah, with a
arrows.
particular
Nice.
particular tips,
Nice. Yep.
medieval and forged and crafted
Mm-hmm.
tips
Pretty. Yep.
on the wall like this.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it's very heavy tips.
Yep.
I don't think so. It will be very resistant if I want to shoot them, but it's just to show to people. Yes, like this. This one is for chainmail. This one is for
Flaming arrows.
flaming. Yeah, I don't know the words in English, but to add something and some stuff. This one is for armors, for with this little leaf shape. And this one is just for kaboom them all. Yeah, very heavy and very
yeah. You could try and shoot them in a hay bale. Yeah, then they don't break.
Yeah.
But everything else will destroy them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty. And you have horn inserts in the nocks.
It's not horn, it's other wood.
Okay, it's a hardwood. Okay. Mm-hmm.
It's a French guy I know who made the shafts.
Mm-hmm.
I bought them in a medieval fair.
Yeah.
And the string is linen. It's not. I think it's Turkish. Turkey feather too. Yes, but it's not very medieval. But I didn't have other feathers.
Goose.
Yeah, goose exactly. But I don't have goose next to my home, and I needed these arrows to shoot the goose. And
yeah.
But yeah, it's a vicious circle,
Nice.
And the guy who owned the goose had a rifle, so
don't do it.
yeah. And there's shafts are barreled, with jar in the middle.
But Maëlle, talk to the guy with the goose, with the geese, and when he kills one, when he slaughters one, he should give you the wings.
Yes, but I think we just need a very few feathers on the tip of the wings, and we need a lot of goose.
No, you can use all the wing feathers. I did this with turkey feathers. It works. It's nice.
Okay, and it can be beautiful.
And the advantage of the goose feathers was they are more oily.
Yeah.
In rain, in moist weather, they are more resistant to moisture. Yeah.
Yes.
You can see that oil mark. It's called the oil mark in the feather. You can see it.
Yes. Nice. And finally, my last arrows are from a friend of mine. We have the French group Asiatic Archery. Le groupe francophone. And we have a guy from Brittany, Fred Champagne, who is making very, very, very good arrows. So
what a waste of his family name. It's called Champagne.
Champagne. Perfect French name.
It should make champagne, not wine.
Footed. This look nice. Footed shaft, no?
Yeah.
Yes, it's just to me it's a kind of rose of a rose. It's just an insert with with the insert part here, cocobolo wood and epicea spruce.
Maybe
maybe spruce wood. With turkey salvage turkey feathers and little
cresting,
cresting, and a knock horn knock. And those arrows are very beautiful, very pleasant to shoot, very precise, very light, very solid. But I don't know why I broke one of them in a medieval target in in what's the word? I don't speak English so much. Classical target, just no problem. But I think it was a little problem, or I think it was when I tried more powerful bow, and I think the arrows were not made for such a powerful bow.
Where did the arrow break? In which part?
Just here. Yeah.
Where the splice meets. Where the splice meets. Yeah.
Exactly. At the junction.
Was so powerful. Yeah.
Maybe this arrow had a little problem here. Maybe it was fragilized when I shot them with a 55 biocomposite bow I tried. But yes, it was just a problem like this. And Fred Champagne told me, yeah, it can be fixed and no problem. You just have to send me the arrow and I can fix it, no problem. So it's a very beautiful bow, but I had them since maybe during 1 year, 1 full year, without shooting them, because I was just like, no, they are in my quiver on the wall. It was just beautiful, but I don't want to take the risk.
But they are made for shooting. Come on, Maëlle.
Yeah.
What?
They are made for shooting.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Yeah, but
do you have a price of them? Or how much is one, or how much are 6? Or
1 arrow is 33 euros.
33 euros. Okay.
Yes. So it's quite expensive when you want a full quiver, but I think it's resistant, and we can send them to the maker to fix them if you need it. So I think it's a good compromise. And in France, there is another guy, Viking Archery, who makes very, very good arrows too. And I met him in the archery museum in next to Paris in October, I guess. And he was able to make more arrows because it's his job, and he has more stuff, a little cheaper. And I think they are very, very, very good arrows too. And you can personalize the cresting, the stuff, and the different parts. Nice. So it's always interesting to know some maker who can make very beautiful and efficient arrows, because my own stuff, there's one are fine, but they are not very. There's one, if I broke one, okay, never mind.
Maëlle, maybe if you really like good arrows and they shouldn't be expensive, really try some of Howard Hill archery in the United States. They are custom made. You can choose everything you want, and 1 dozen is $120 US. 1 dozen. So that's not a lot, and they're exactly spined. They're exactly checked for weight and so on. Maybe these are not so expensive and really first-class arrows.
Yes,
not just Howard Hill, also these Spot Orford and all these professional American arrow makers. They make them to the point. You know, they are exactly matched.
Yes. But you have the same price in shipping that with the arrows itself, no?
Customs.
Yeah,
maybe,
custom.
but anyway, a dozen would be more favorable than 30 euros for 1 arrow.
Yeah, but it's collection stuff. I think it's very interesting.
Just for shooting. For shooting, I meant.
Not just for the wall.
One thing I also like to say, I don't like to, lecture you, but because of these dark feathers, I also have arrows with these natural paired turkey feathers, and they're just beautiful. The other ones are bright, yes, I see, because it's very hard for your brain to learn the shooting when you use dark fletching, of course, because you can see the arrow.
True.
Yep.
But you know it. I see the other arrows have bright feathers.
Yes. Oh, and for my arrows, with the plastic knocks, I have the little
Yeah.
the
Index.
little index here. Yeah. And so when I put them, I'm just like, okay, with my cock feather, and I put them like this. But with a lot of arrows, I never mind, because in my practice of archery, I don't watch the arrow. I just release blinded, and
you don't have to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not
necessary.
There, if that wrong side knocking makes a difference in hitting the target, then you're then you're a very good shot. You have a very small target.
I didn't notice a big difference.
No, it doesn't make a difference.
So yeah,
In Asiatic archery, when you shoot a longbow with a shelf and something, then it's different again. Then with some, the cock feather needs to be out. I had once a bow from a German bow builder, but I forgot his name now, and he made a shelf extra that you put the cock feather towards the inside of the bow, and the other two were pointing outward. So it's always,
you know,
it's a religion.
With that hill styles, with this very dry shelf.
Yeah,
it doesn't
no
matter
problem.
if you cock
Exactly.
it the wrong way.
Yeah, it matters when you shoot an Olympic bow with an arrow rest and with this small stuff, and then and you shoot veins. When you shoot plastic veins, then it makes
then it's
when you shoot feathers, then it doesn't matter. Yeah.
True.
And when you put the feathers on it, which tool do you use? A fletching chip?
I have a metallic stuff. Yes.
Metallic.
And there's one are just bought like this in the shop. They are already cut.
Okay.
But there's one, for example, I just made a little with a cardboard, a kind of pattern, and I just cut just like this.
But then to put them on the arrow,
it's glued.
But you have some tool for it where you put the arrow in with clamps?
Yes.
Okay.
A fletching tool.
Yes, exactly, a fletching tool. Yeah, it's useful, and so I can calculate the angle of the
exactly
feather on the shaft.
Okay, very well done.
A professional fletcher.
So now the question, of course, guys, because here is an archery channel. When did you shoot your last arrow? Oh, it's getting silent here. It's an archery channel, guys. Both of you. When did you shoot your last arrow?
My last arrow, a few months, because with winter, mud everywhere, rain, the building of the house.
A lot of arguments.
Peter?
For me, it's the same. I'm a lazy archer.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, because you're making your videos. So think about it. If you
I shot today without making the video. 3 hours ago, I shot some arrows.
Really?
Yeah. Without doing a video. In the morning, I did a video.
You played strip archery with your girlfriend or so. If I can hit something, you remove one piece of clothing.
I shoot too good for it. No girl wants to play this game with me anymore because
they all went home naked. But could be a nice game, no? Strip archery.
You never played it?
The female has to, or as you know, intersexual, like you wanted, the female has to say, hit this or hit that, and if the archer is able to hit it, she removes one part of her clothing.
It's a philosophy.
Nice game, I think so.
I think Armin, you used to make your videos very early in the morning, no?
Yes, always, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't like to stand in the sun, because then the light is very harsh. And with a phone camera, the colors don't look nice anymore. In the morning, I still can use the shade from the house when the sun is behind, the house, then it looks a bit more natural. I like it more.
Well, in the morning he's younger.
No, I look no. You know, when you have a face like me, you have all day long to unfold. You know.
Yeah, on the video it's not very handsome, but
sorry.
I know.
yeah, for you, I want to say, because it's difficult in Malta. You have too much sun in February, you know.
Yes.
I want to have sun.
Yes, you know, there go planes every day to Malta.
Yeah, exactly. I have to come and make the turn with motorbike and archery stuff in the back.
And music, you take it from instruments and music.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course.
And
Because-
about archery, I have the last part of my stuff. It's
yes, now you talk about quivers. Yes.
yeah, the bow quiver for the Şimşek Bow.
Yep.
Looks
Like-
very nice.
Yeah, and it's well crafted.
Wow, looks good.
Yeah. It's made by Oleg Flerko, a guy from
Bulgaria, I think. No.
oh, where does he live?
Oleg, where do you come from?
Oleg. Yeah, Oleg.
I only know Loleg and Poleg, but it's different.
No.
Bulgaria, Romania.
No. It's ancient communist country, but I don't remember. It's not Ukraine. It's not Bosnia. It's not.
Okay.
What is it? I don't remember. Sorry, Oleg.
Serbia.
I'm very. But Oleg Flerko, his channel is AC Leather, and he makes a wonderful stuff. I was just like, I saw all the pics on Instagram and Facebook, and I was just like, wow, it's wonderful. It's very well crafted, and all the pictures are very beautiful, and it looks very solid, very resistant, very practical. And I was just like, okay, I want one, but it should be very expensive. And so I was just like, no, archery is too much important in my life. Okay, I need one. And I ordered this bow quiver, this arrow quiver.
Nice, yeah.
Wow, looks good.
This one with the Ottoman part here and
Looks
all
very
the
good.
stuff inside.
And the pouch, yeah, of course.
Wow.
With the
The full
belts.
set, yeah.
Very stylish, very stylish.
And I have to say that I wanted one model. I was like, I saw on his website, oh, okay, this one is very beautiful. And he was like, he watched all my own pictures, and he said, oh yeah, you played music and you have some instrument. And you know, this
He made, yes.
This picture here.
From your oud, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Wow. Very
And
nice.
I was
Very
just
nice.
like,
Very nice.
he can make this. And I was like, yeah, perfect. It's a link between my archery stuff and my musical stuff. And it's just perfect for me. And with this wood, I play Turkish music. So my archery stuff is Turkish.
Perfect.
Yeah. One thing I like to ask, I don't know, you both, to me, it looks very unnatural to carry the bow with the string down. I don't know, just for me.
With the string down, oh yeah. Oh.
I would, in any case, I would have it the other side around if I would use some quiver like that. I don't know, because maybe I'm afraid that the string gets wrapped, or I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Or it's more fragile, you know, you're sleeping over something and the string is down there, not on the
It's for horse. It's when you sit on your horse, I think.
Yes. It's easy to grab the bow when it's inside, but I think if they do like this, if they did like this during centuries, maybe it's because it's the most efficient way, because if the problem is just to invert the sense and hold the quiver like this, I think it's totally possible. And I guess in Hungary or some countries, it's
not on the other side, but just the string up would be more logical.
Yes, like this with the string.
What do you mean with string up then?
The
string
string
here,
on the
string
upper
here.
side, not on the lower side of the quiver.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah,
So yeah, so like this.
but on the right side.
No,
Yes,
you
on
have
the
it on the
right
left
Right
side.
side? Oh, you need the arrow quiver on the
But
right
Oh,
you
yeah,
side.
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
grab the
yeah,
bow with your left
yeah,
hand
yeah,
directly
yeah,
here.
yeah,
You
yeah,
grab
yeah.
the arrows and you're ready
Yeah,
to
yeah,
shoot.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the bow is already in the right orientation, so you don't have to swivel the bow
The
around.
string would be for me too exposed if it's on the
It works easy.
lower side.
I did
Yes.
today a video of a Korean bow quiver from this guy. He does an amazing job too. This is incredible leather crafters out there. This is so hilarious. What they are
I
doing.
love this kind of craft because they are just jewels. It's very beautiful.
And you see the difference, and when you see then how they make them, you know, how the stitching lines and how everything is, and I was like, how can one do that? You know, this is
Yes,
wow.
I want to do the same.
Yeah, me too, but I will never. I don't touch a piece of
But
leather. Yeah.
it's not as difficult. I'm not a big fan about it, but I did some, you know, sheath for knives, and so it's not so
Of
difficult.
course, it's a matter of practice, but when you see the differences, when you buy one of the leather quivers from Bear Paw, you know, they have this rough stitching and whatever, and then you see these ones
From
with
Pakistan.
stitching lines, perfect, and the metal, all this stuff around it is like hilarious.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
It's just wow. It's nice. How much did you pay for the whole set? May I ask?
For the whole set, I think it was a little more than 600 euros.
It's not much money.
No,
It's
for the work,
really a lot of money.
Yeah.
When
the
you
work
see
behind-
when you see what you get for it. I mean, I had one of my friends, he makes these Manchu leather quivers, and he always asked me, why don't you sell my quivers in Malta? Said, look, your quiver start at $650, and I don't even sell bows for the price here. You know, when I sell a bow for 200 euros, I have a hard time giving someone a quiver for 500 euros for it. Yeah. But it's not going to work.
In medieval reenactment, you can see, for example, the guys who made 15th century with complete armors for tournaments, foot tournaments or horseback tournaments, but sometimes they just have to put 20,000 euros in a armor with the stuff. And after a fight, you have to eat
fix everything. Yeah.
It's just broken everywhere.
Would nothing be
one argument when some guys said, oh no, an expensive quiver, the quiver is too expensive or so, I always said, look, a quiver you can use your whole life long. Maybe you buy another bow and you break hundreds of arrows, but the quiver will stay with you. So it's not as expensive.
No, but Peter, when you see the quality of these ones, Maëlle has now,
no problem.
And you get for 600 euros the full set, and another one sells you only the quiver now for 600 euros, but it doesn't last longer. It doesn't last longer. They are so perfect made, they outlive you. They can give this to you.
I totally agree.
So that's why it's sometimes quality does not have to be so expensive.
No.
It depends. Even when you see this Korean guy, the craftsmanship of his Korean quiver he made me, he charges, I think, $200 for this quiver, but it's insanely made. I have no words how perfect these things are. And then $200, you know, when you see before others charge 600 for a, of course, beautiful, nice made with all the metal, whatever decoration, but
this quiver Byron Ferguson is using is from Stephen Katz, is the name of the quiver maker in the United States. The quiver alone costs $600.
Yeah.
Of course, there's some beadwork and some, you know, stuff on, but it's a quiver, simply the quiver for $600 or so dollars. So I'm not against expensive quivers because I say they last a lifetime. You may break a bow and an arrow, but the quiver will.
Of course, if you have the money, if let's say if I spend now whatever 3,000, 4,000 euros for a bow because I have the money, then I might get a quiver for 500-600. That's not a problem. You know what I mean? But I don't buy a bow for 200 euros and then a quiver for 600. It doesn't match my thinking.
Yeah.
It can be said too to have just a leather stuff more expensive than your bow and your arrows. for example, but I think it's a part of the costume, of the outfit,
Yes.
of the archer. And for me, I practice reenactment. I did it a lot a few years ago, but less now. But I love it, and it's very interesting. And in France, we have a lot of fair and events like this, and it's very pleasant to walk in the street like this with your complete outfit, and people are just like, wow. I have a question about the stuff. Is it a toy? So, okay, watch my row.
Like an Hermes bag.
Yes, exactly. Artemis stuff or something. But you know, for Oleg, for example, normally there is just this part, this strap, and I have to add this one
to balance it.
Adjust the angle,
on my belt, and he made this without more charge, just like this, with the little.
You can adjust,
with an arrow,
with a bow and a nice, you look at him.
Little bow, it's just perfect. And he sent me a little bag with, I think, 2 or 3 parts like this.
Oh, cool! That's really nice.
And if you have a problem, if you lost one, if you want to make another part yourself,
nice.
You have them.
He's a good guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
So nice equipment.
Now the only thing is you could have get directly in your dress, in your medieval dress, today because we see you almost whole body today,
Yeah. Maybe it can be a
next time.
I have an Ottoman stuff. I have Western 14th century outfit and maybe 12th century, 13th century dress.
So did the Western female warriors wear dresses or trousers?
I think it's always the same topic, Peter. But if women fought, I think they wear the same equipment as men because they didn't have some specific stuff. And if you have an armor, you just have enough room inside to put your breast or something. And I think it was the same stuff. And we have in France a channel, a kind of internet TV channel called Medieval TV. It's not very old, but it's very, very interesting. They have a good kind of topics and they make videos about a lot of subjects. I had my own videos with archery, Western and Oriental archery. But they had a video about female armors, and it was very interesting because the girl who presented the video was just like, yes, we just used to see warrior women with a little just a bra, a chainmail bra, cape and
the male fantasy,
Yes, exactly. It's totally ideological. But she had a very good discussion about it, and she was just like, yes, we have many 5 or 6 armors from Joan d'Arc. Maybe in the museums, yes, it's the armor of Joan d'Arc. But if you see, you have the signature, the mark of the maker, and it was just 300 years after Joan d'Arc. So it's just not her armor, but it's kind of armor with the female part, the only female part on the armor. And if it's for a female, it's for Joan d'Arc.
But
of course,
I think because you talk about the breast, I think the armor had also the male armor had room, had space.
Yes, exactly.
So it's no problem. And I I like to talk about that subject, but I don't like to get into. But what I also think is a woman in battle was not didn't like to get recognized as a woman. So
Yes,
it was
exactly.
crazy if you wear
Yes.
women stuff and gone into battle. That's crazy. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
how is
so-
your medieval or 14th century outfit? Is with trousers and kind of shirts,
Exactly.
like a Robin Hood, let's say.
On the picture, you always see, you know, for the what the word in English, but we had in the 16th century the legend about the les neuf preux for the men and les neuf preuses for the women, and they were drawn like women with a dress, long hair, and just like very feminine long hair,
Yeah, yeah.
and just this part with armor and the arms, and they were just like with a spear or a sword, and they were the warriors. But it's just for the drawing, and it's not
Like
not-
that German Valkyries. It's the same. They
Mhm.
were
Exactly.
scale armor with breasts and long and skirts and so on. Yeah, and
Mhm.
open long hair. Yeah, yeah. But this is kind of legendary, I think. Yeah, like female warriors are.
Yeah,
But every legend has a, you know, the core of every
Yeah,
legend.
yeah,
is-
yeah, yeah,
so-
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And it's the same
Now
with
that-
many male warriors, you know, they were then, of course, propaganda, you know, whatever there was, and then they made him bigger than he was, and
Think,
maybe they made the same. Huh?
Shortly ago, I saw a nice podcast, a kind of lecturing about the Bible and the Old Testament. You know, the Genesis, or how's it called, Pentateuch,
Mm.
and they talked about David and Goliath.
Mhm.
And in one older, they followed, they tracked back the oldest writings, you know, the first in Aramaic and Greek and so on. And in fact, they had just in Greek, all this was all written very late. I don't remember the centuries. And their Goliath was just 2 meter and something. And in the next translation, in the next script, he was about 3 meters.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
like you say, they make the enemy big
Mhm.
and yourself small, and so it's
Right.
you're more a hero.
Propaganda, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it always is and was. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yes.
the film Braveheart about
Yeah.
Scotland
Yeah,
independence,
yeah,
and they were just like about this topic. They were just like when English guys see William Wallace, they say, "Oh yeah, I've been told that his eyes throw fireballs, and
Mhm.
yeah,
he,
yeah,
he
yeah.
was 3 meters tall." And it's just, no,
Yeah.
because there is a legend, the text,
Right.
the pictures, and it can be totally imaginary.
It's the same with the number of the enemies.
Mm.
Yeah.
Even the old Egyptians, and so they
Mm.
made up the numbers. And you know, because of big and tall, this Prussian king Frederick II, Friedrich
Yeah.
the Große, Frederick the Great, they call him.
Yeah.
He had a special guard. They were at least, I don't remember, 1 meter 80 or so, or maybe 85, and had very big heads.
Mhm.
I think also in Napoleonic days they had them.
Yes.
So they were very big guys with this
Mm.
all this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look
Like
at
the
look at the.
immortals
Mhm.
in the Xerxes army, you know, in Persian antiquity,
Yeah.
the immortals, it was elite guards, but they were not at all immortal, but just called like this. It was just like people in front of them. So they were just
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
okay, if they are immortal,
Yeah.
we cannot fight.
It's like terror on the enemy. They get in fear and they
Yeah, of course.
kind of paralyzed and so on. Yeah.
Always
It's
works
propaganda.
works now too. Always work.
Of course.
Work with fear and always defeat the
I'll-
enemy without fighting.
I like this.
Yeah, we.
Very impressive to me were these Polish hussars with these wings on their back. You
Yes,
have a,
on the,
wow, they
the
look
back.
great. Yeah,
It's amazing.
yeah.
It's amazing. And if it's like flu, in total speed with their horse, it may be you know, a lot of sounds like you flew a road.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It should be very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
I
said
think so.
yes. They made a sound. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Imagine a few of them come and you think like there come 5,000 and only 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know.
Like that. Like I think that this also this Maasai or Zulu warriors. They wore kind of shell chains around their ankles and so on. And when they run, it made a sound. So they thought, oh, there are 10,000s around.
Yeah.
Tactical warfare. Yeah,
It's
psychological.
tactical, it's totally tactical.
Or think about the Stuka bombers with their siren.
Yeah.
And the people got in horror when they heard this sound. Yeah.
Like a whistling arrow. Kind of
exactly. Whistling arrows.
Yeah, whistling arrow.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. A foggy morning and you hear you don't know what's and where and who and you freak out.
Very impressive.
Yeah. But makes sense, you know. You always have to weaken the enemy before you start fighting.
Of course.
Yes, exactly.
And you get him by fear, of course.
Because the goal, since the beginning, the goal is to win the battle without fight too much. The shortest is the battle. Better.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. And in the main opinion, people all think about soldiers as monsters they love to kill or so. That's not true. That's not true. They if they don't have to kill someone and win the battle, they're happy.
Of course.
Yeah.
Normal.
Yeah. Interesting.
So
next time, Maëlle, you make your kind of how is it called? Haute couture
Ottoman outfit, yeah. Okay, I can do this.
And maybe you'll play us something like,
yes.
You know, I thought with this how is it called, this guitar?
With this wood.
Yeah. And archery stuff, you kind of these medieval troubadours, female troubadour.
Oh, yeah. You can have a chat, just both of you, and I can play the music and sip beer.
Oh yeah, wow. Then I need to talk to Peter again. No, thank you. Why do you think we invite people that I don't have to talk to Peter?
We have to organize something in Austria or in Malta or in France, and with a lot of friends and a lot of beer and a lot of tea and a lot of instruments.
Okay.
But it can be very, very interesting.
For sure.
Would be fun. Would be fun. Sounds like big fun.
I guess Austria is then better than everybody when it's a more a central point.
Great. Okay, so it's okay for me for the third time. For the next time, I can dress with my outfit.
Very cool. Very cool.
Dress up.
Only Turkish. No, I can't.
No, it's fine. Fine.
I can't.
It's only bad for the people they let YouTube then run while they drive in their car because they don't watch it. They only listen to us, but they don't watch it. Bad luck for them, you know. Hey, you know, sometimes you should watch and use your eyes.
Yeah, but when I show all my stuff, it's
nobody sees it. Exactly.
More interesting to see it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to choose drive or sorry.
Exactly. If Maëlle is on the show, stop driving, take your phone and watch it. Exactly.
They will do anyway.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, when Maëlle is on the show, of course. Yeah. Everybody stops everything, you know, and then it's directly watch.
The world stands still.
Yeah, of course. You always can feel directly when I uploaded it makes a little and then the world stopped now rotating. Yeah.
No, I have to say it's very interesting to have those videos on YouTube because you can begin the video when you want, you can stop it, you can see it again, see it twice or third time if you want. It's very interesting because when you had in the ancient times a program on TV, if you were not here at the good moment, it was over.
It was gone. Exactly.
So if you think about it, never before in history was so many knowledge stored and an output of knowledge, also of bullshit, no question about that. But on the other hand, it's a big trove of information, of if you're interested in old lighters or in old comms or in old in everything, you can find literally everything. And
Sure.
and think about 30 years ago, it was unthinkable.
Yeah.
There were maybe on
Really?
old bows, there were 3 books around the world, or maybe 10, I don't know.
Yeah.
But nowadays you can have information that you can
Everything, yeah.
see it in a clip, and you can see someone shoot that old bow or crossbow or gun or something. That's very nice.
Yeah, this is interesting times. That is true.
We're kind of blessed with this internet.
Yes.
It's true.
Blessed and cursed. Yeah. It always depends how you use it.
It can be a curse too. Yeah.
Yeah, but it depends how you use it. It's like a razor
yeah.
blade. You can shave yourself or you can cut your it always depends how you
It's
use
like
it.
archery. It's like
Exactly.
Archery, let's say the bow and arrow, is one of the very few weapons, or maybe the only weapon, you can't point at yourself. Think about it.
I'd never heard of someone who killed himself with bow and arrow. Yeah, let's say.
Yes, you can do it with it. Yeah, but that's not bow and arrow. Yeah. But you can kill yourself with a knife, with a spear, with a sword, with everything, but not so easy with bow and arrow.
Not so easy, at least. Yeah.
if you're drunk enough, you can shoot your feet or
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Or you shoot up in the air and wait until the arrow comes down.
You run for the arrow.
Yeah, exactly. Where?
I think every archer has done this stupid thing one time.
We call it archery roulette. I always say it when I have a group which annoys me, then guys, we do now archery roulette. Oh, what's that? What's that? You all gather in a crowd here around me. Yes, and then I shoot one arrow straight up in the air, and the last one who moves is the winner. Of course, we don't do it. Don't do this at home, kids.
But I think you could do it with that
with the blunt arrow. With this one, we do it
with that foam arrows.
Yeah, of course we do this with the foam arrows, but they're slow, and you see them coming.
Do you ever see some totally newbies, people that never hold a bow? You give them a bow and they just like
yes, happens. From 100 people, at least one. Yeah.
What logical? Why? They don't want to live it out?
I don't know.
There are some. I think they're simply clumsy and they want to make everything perfect, and they put themselves under a lot of stress and pressure when they come there, and then they completely you have a speech and you lose your words, and then they. I don't know.
I had some clients, a lot of clients, but I have to say, in most cases, they were women.
I want to say I didn't want to say that, but
no, it's not. It's not.
It's a fact. It's a fact.
It's a fact. And I showed them how to grasp the string and and pull here, and now just release the string.
I can't.
I can't. Well, how?
And then they open two fingers, but the middle finger is still on the string. It doesn't go. It doesn't go.
It's like this.
Yeah.
You cannot.
With the whole fist. Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's normal.
Yes. No. Just the tip.
But
I don't know. Yep.
But the best is always when you tell the guys, many guys, more guys than girls, when you tell them, and the middle finger comes to the corner of your mouth. This is your anchor point. And then they stand there with the thumb in the corner. So, is this your middle finger? Yes. Look at it. Oh, it's not my middle finger. How do you drive a car? When you say someone you like what he's doing, do you show this finger or the other one? No, they said then use this one, It's
maybe they do it because the middle finger is stinky or something.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with the middle finger.
Because even with a not very powerful bow, when you are here, you have the string next to your mouth, your nose, or maybe your eyeglass.
Yes, they are afraid.
They're afraid to shoot them. Yeah.
Too much power in my arms, so they are just like this.
Yeah.
You're afraid. Yeah.
Yes.
Happens.
But it can be understandable.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we understand everything.
And when I have women, they say I can't release, I can't do it. and then I don't know the word exactly in English, but in German they that kind of psycho doctors and
letting go.
life have letting go, a
Mhm.
letting go seminary.
Mhm.
You know, loslassen in German they say
Yeah,
loslassen.
letting go. This is what I
Letting
always
go.
tell.
Yeah. And then I say, the next clinic is about letting go. It's has nothing to do with archery, but
Mhm,
just
mhm.
letting go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
No,
always
but
tell these girls directly when they stand there and said, oh, so we have problems with letting go things in our life.
Yeah.
How do you know that? yeah. Said, yeah, I
I'm
see it.
genius.
Yeah.
What I've sometimes if the group is nice and funny,
Mhm.
in my quiver I have a very short, whip they use for how is it called, horse jumping?
Mhm.
How is it
Yeah,
called?
the horse jump. Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't even know the German word now.
Springreiten.
In Springreiten, no? Jump riding. Yeah, that's
But it's,
no. But
no.
They jump over these
Yeah,
obstacles.
and they have very short. They're very short whips. They are
Mhm.
as long as my arrows. So I have one of them in my quiver.
You
One of
kinky
that
bastard, you.
yes, and then I say, and if you don't get it how it works after 1 hour, I will use this one. And always some women say, really? they
Yeah.
would love to have it.
Yeah, some
Really?
like that. But you wanted to say something, but I was a bit too. Maëlle, you wanted to say something, and I started talking.
No. It was just remembering because Peter, you told about yes, I saw women, but on the other side, I saw many men just like big men, in front of the girlfriend and the girl.
Yeah.
And they're just like, yes, bow, I can do it.
Yeah. That's
You are just like, no problem. Because they are all
absolutely.
in the arms
But
and not in the shoulders.
Maëlle, you're right, absolutely. But these are different problems. The men don't like to get taught. They say, I can do it. You don't have to tell me something. That's the
true.
manly part. And the women have the let go problem sometimes.
Exactly.
And they often feel very insecure and very stressed because they have to do it. But I tell you one thing about girls. I used to make for 3 years in schools in Vienna with boys and girls, and it was the same. Like you say, the boys, they didn't listen to me and they didn't hit anything. But the weak girls, they listened to me and they showed it and they did it exactly like I showed them, and so they outshot the boys because they had less self-confidence or something in shooting, so they wanted to learn it, and so they listened to me and they were better than the boys. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
But the general problem is that everybody thinks he has a know of how archery works. They come to the range. Yeah, I know how it works. Did you ever shoot with bow and arrow? No, but I know how it works.
You know why?
They saw the wrong movies.
Yeah, they saw movies. They saw pictures, and they have it in their brain. And something I talk about it. I say, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that like this? And I don't know, but they have the pictures in their brain. They say they saw a statue of an archer leaning backwards. They said, never lean backwards, lean forwards, and so on. But they have this picture in their brain.
Yeah, but it's interesting. It's only in archery. I never had this when I was teaching Tai Chi or something. They don't come with any precondition and I know everything already. They simply listen and okay, I follow. In archery,
I think
the guys
because
know.
archery is more common.
Yeah.
And it's a martial thing, and maybe they just think that as a man, they have to be able to do this, and it's kind of logical and instinctive for them, but not at all. It's just a technique you have to learn. If you give me a compound bow, for example, honestly, I don't know how to do.
But I also have to say, men, if they are connected to shooting, gun or rifle shooting or hunters, they easily get it because they have kind of an idea how
Yeah, it
shooting
depends.
works also.
I had some gun shooters, they even after half an hour, they still aimed over the arrow and shot too high, half an hour, shot too. I said, look, you don't look at the arrow, look at your target.
Yeah, you're right, but they hit.
Yes.
In most cases, that's true.
This week I did a video, and then the neighbor, he's a tennis coach, he is from Portugal, and he said, oh, can you take a photo of me? I said, yeah, then come and take a photo of you. Yeah, but with bow and arrow. I said, yeah, but did you ever shoot bow and arrow? No. I said, okay, then let me finish my video, I'll show you. But but in 3 minutes, this guy hit almost around the center and shot groups because he knows his body. And he saw similarities to tennis. I said, look, your left shoulder simply looks, this is like we do in tennis. And then he was a little stiff in the beginning, but he middle finger corner of your mouth. And then I corrected his elbow 2 times. And then his form was 90% there. This is it. So with a guy like this, it's easy to work.
You know what I hate on Facebook?
No.
I hate these thousands of pictures of beautiful women with fancy costumes and dresses, and you see in the first glance they never had a bow in their hand before. But I know the trouble because I did some photo shootings with beautiful models, but they also had no idea. And I know how difficult it is to get them into a position you don't recognize that they has nothing.
I was once invited. There was here this show Venere, and they always had some models, and the public could then vote for which model they want to see. And they brought 3 of them, completely styled, really beautiful. And then of course a photographer said, oh, the sun is going down, let's take the photos first and then we do the video of how they learn to shoot. Said no, they first learn how to shoot and then you can take your photos, because when I give them now bow and arrow, they stand like this and have no idea what to do with it. And I teach them first. It takes 20 minutes. Give me or half an hour, and then I teach them, and then I know how to shoot, and then you take your photos. And then these photos were, I mean, of course they were not perfect, but wow.
It was much better.
Wow. You know, they came with high heels and with dresses, and well, nice. That was nice.
And maybe
one of them she liked. Oh, you?
Sorry.
No, you.
For the one of the ending words, I like to think that it's very interesting to me in archery and in other stuff to never say, even to yourself, I know this because I practice every day, and okay, I know this, because you have to learn every time. And to me, I have a lot of people who say, oh, you play music so well, you know so much things. But to me, I'm just a beginner because I just opened the door of the musical world, but it's so huge.
The more you know, you recognize. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
and same
with happens to me too. When they always call me like this, listen, I just start shooting some arrows, don't worry.
And I think they are in some way two, I hate to say it like that, but two kinds of persons, because one gets into fishing, archery, or I don't know, and he gets to a kind of state and he's happy with. And the other breed of man, they like to get more into and more, and they're just curious. Oh, I don't know everything. I have to know more. I have to study it and so on. And that's a kind of also a kind of curse and a kind of.
Both is okay as long as you don't. Yeah, we mean a bit nerdiness is fine, I guess.
If I do something, I have to know everything about it. When I was into boxing, I studied all the old world champions and the old box fights. I watched, you know, the black and white. I had to have it all.
I'm completely the opposite.
Yeah,
but you know, different people.
We need all the shames. We need all the people and the techniques and the stuffs and the. At last, it's just archery.
Exactly. We all shoot bow and arrow. Yeah.
So, guys, I think it's quite late.
Time to go. Oh,
Yeah.
come on. Oh,
Uh,
yes, it's already, yes, you are right. It's already 2
2
hours. Yes.
I think it's good, but we can organize
Thank
another
you so
time
much.
with the
Another-
outfits and with a
Ooh.
lot of pleasure.
Nice.
Another
I'm looking
date,
forward to that one.
Great.
Maëlle, another date.
Oh,
Another date, yes.
yeah, make
Oh,
Peter
yeah.
happy. Yes.
You can date me like this, no problem.
Fine, fine. So in this case, you accept men. Good.
In this case, yeah.
Or a date like this. Good.
Exactly.
That's fine.
So guys,
I can
thank
live
you
it.
so much.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you,
It's really
Maëlle.
a pleasure to see all your stuff. And of course, it's always a pleasure to listen to you and your knowledge, Maëlle. Thank you so
Same.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for your time. And
Bye,
I see
guys.
you all, and thank you all for watching, guys, out there. And please subscribe to everyone's channel and check them out. And you know the drill. Thank you very much. Have a good night. See you.